Welcome to Broadcast to Badass. We're Kimi and Pua, digital media nerds and jiu-jitsu-loving business coaches, joyously obsessed with creating freedom for heart-led entrepreneurs. We're here to help you go from frustrated to fierce, from hustle to flow, from broke-ass to badass. Find out more about us at bledigital.com, and wherever you're listening, be sure to click subscribe so you never miss an episode. Hi, guys. Welcome to the podcast. Hi, Pua.
Hi.
Let's do this. All right. So today we have a fun one for you. We are going to be talking about digital media services and which ones you don't need to get started. Which is hilarious coming from us as a digital media business. We're telling you what you don't need from us.
Yeah, for sure. And it's so funny. Like we talk to clients all the time who will, or even prospective clients who will call us on the phone, or we'll call them, or whoever calls whoever. And they'll say like, okay, well, I just need a website. So can you help me? And we're like, well, tell us about your business. And, people ask us why we sometimes say that they're not a great fit for what we do. And they're like, I don't understand. Like, we want to give you our money. We want you to build our website. We need it. This is for our business. Like, why would you not build a website? And for us, this really comes from our own pain of investing thousands into a website when we ourselves did not have the clarity required to really request what we wanted and to create digital media assets that aligned with our business and our service at the time. So for us, it's really in integrity with our business and our service and who we are to make sure that you as a client are either super clear and in alignment already with who you are, what you serve, what your business is, or, jump into our course and create that alignment for yourself. But we can't, with integrity, create something for someone that we aren't sure will fit their needs. Does that make sense?
Totally. Yeah.
Crazy.
I feel so proud and excited about our business that it's cool, right? That we have the ability to create things for people or help you to get the clarity so that then either you or we can create it for you. And so to have both of those services available to people is so beautiful. And again, as Pua shared, it came from, it's the message and the mission that came from our own mess. And I love that because it turns that experience, which was challenging at the time, into purpose for us. And our whole mission at BLE Digital is to help people to save time, energy, and money as they're building their beautiful businesses and following their dreams. And so sometimes that means not building something for you if you are not ready for it. And that will save you time. It will save you money, and it will give you the opportunity to get really, really clear so that, you can either have a beautiful digital media product, whether it be a course or a website or anything that you really, really love and that is absolutely in alignment with how you're meant to serve. And or you may discover in the foundational work that you do or that we do with you that you actually don't even need a website. And that is such a cool thing to be able to say in this day and age, because it hasn't always been the case. Before it was like, that's just what you did, right? And I think that we all kind of have a little of that still in us, where maybe from like the 90s, right? It's like the 90s into the 2000s. Maybe it's like, oh, if you're a legit online business, then you have to have a website. So like that's the first step. And of course it is for many businesses, still bigger businesses. But as a small business, an entrepreneur, a solopreneur, you don't need a website to start serving. And it's really, really, that's the important message here that we want to drive home so that we can help you get out of your own way so you can start serving now.
Yeah. I think it's not that you don't need a website ever, but what we're trying to really drive home here is that your website isn't like a be all end all, like you can't start doing anything until you have a website deal. And of course, there are businesses out there that you probably would do fine with that one. But as you get bigger, like having a website, yeah, totally. Like you want to have a place for people to find out more information and opt in and, create a relationship with you and your company. But yeah, as Kimi said, like this is having a website it's like accessorizing your outfit. Like to go outside, depending on where you live, you probably don't want to go outside in your underwear, but what do you need to go outside? It's like shorts and a t-shirt, and then you're at least, not breaking any laws. So put the shorts and the t-shirt on and get outside, start doing it, start working your thing. And then as you go, you can maybe like trade your shorts in for slacks and trade your, put a necklace on or whatever it is. But it's so important. And this is what we coach people on in our program is you have this light inside of you. And you're probably listening to this podcast because you either have a small business or you're thinking of starting one. And that light, that gift, that service that you feel is your calling is there for a reason. And every second that you don't put it out there and you don't serve and you don't use your gifts to help other people, you are doing the world a huge disservice. And if you're waiting for something like a website to do that, like that's really where we want you to stop and be like, you know what? Could you like say, okay, for example, you want to help people organize their homes. And you're like, well, I'll put all of my services on my website. And once I have my website, then I'll tell people what I do. Could you instead say, hey, I'm starting a business, like, what are you doing this Saturday? I want to come and like redo your house and I'll give you the friends discount and you can give me cash, you give me a check. Like what do you need? What's the bare minimum that you need to start serving? You probably want to register your business. You want to maybe open a bank account and keep track of your, money going in and money coming in, money going out. That's it. Right? Like make sure your taxes are in order and everything's legal, but you don't need a website to start doing that. So just reflect right now. Are you stuck in a story that you need certain digital media assets to start serving?
Totally. Yeah. And I think it brings up weird things for us too, right? So, a lot of times starting a business can be really scary and overwhelming, and it can become a huge block when we start thinking, oh my gosh, okay, so I want to start a business. I guess I need a website. Oh my gosh, I don't know how to build a website. And then we get stuck. That's like one sticking point that happens for us because it is, as Pua said, like it's a BS story there that we have to have a website in order to serve. And then this other weird thing happens that say we do get the website started, that can become a way that we almost like a distraction where we can spend a lot of time tweaking our website, trying to get it perfect, trying to like figure out who we are in the process of building the website instead of figuring out who we are first and then putting the website together after that or seeking out digital media support. So we see this a lot with people where people will come to us and they've spent quite a bit of time, trying to build a website, putting it together, not really feeling like they're clear yet or in alignment, and they're delaying that service until they get everything perfect. So it's another place where like that perfectionism can kind of, rear its ugly head and prevent us from taking the action that it would take to move our business forward. So it's just a funny thing where we can distract ourselves and feel busy working on a website when in actuality it's another way that fear is sort of preventing us from taking inspired action and getting out there and serving. Does that make sense?
For sure. And a website it's an investment. And when we talk to new entrepreneurs or people who have kind of been dabbling a little bit, like money is kind of a pain point. It's a little bit of a trigger, and we can do a whole nother episode on the BS stories around money and, feeling broke ass. And we probably should do an episode about that since that's our podcast title. But it's an investment, and there are free tools all over the place that can give you more of an impact, a wider reach than a website. And think about a website. It's static. Just because you create one doesn't mean people are going to just happen upon it. It doesn't mean you're going to show up on a Google search right away. And even though there's so much that goes into growing your social media network and presence these days, it's still a much faster way to grow awareness around something that you're doing. More often than not, people will have even like personal pages. And I feel like I've talked about this girl before, but one of my old colleagues, she started a calligraphy company and she just does the most incredible stuff. And her entire company for the longest time was just on her Instagram, and it was her personal Instagram. And she just started doing lettering here and there to be like some pictures of her family and her dog and like a lettering video here and there. Now that has become her business page. It's only lettering and beautiful, watercolor paintings. And she has a website now, but she didn't for a long time. And so leveraging things like social media, and in free ways, right? You don't have to buy Facebook ads to reach people. Just and we'll talk about this in another episode coming up a little bit later, but the power of sharing right now is free. It's available to you instantly. You don't have to build the platform. It's already there. And it's just like it's something that is not prioritized for people who are thinking about starting a business. And we are really, really working to shift that, because like a website, okay, so you have to buy the hosting, right? You have to maybe get a subscription to the platform depending on the platform that you use. Then there are plugins that you might need. Then there's email automation and all these things that we don't think about when we say in our heads, oh, I need a website. Right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I think it's been our experience too. Like, again, just we love to save people any like pain that we've experienced. And of course, everybody's going to go through their own challenges and like growth things that they need to in order to become who they're meant to be. But for us, we look back and we're like, oh my gosh, we wasted a lot of time, a lot of money, and a lot of stress over, investing in things before we were ready and before we had done that foundational work to get really clear about what our style was, what our vibe was, what our voice was. And sure, those things are going to evolve, but it's so important to have a solid foundation to begin with, because otherwise you're just going to be disappointed with the results of whatever it is that you invest in. Disappointed in terms of you're not going to like the way it looks or it feels, which was the case for us with the website that we invested in, or you're going to be disappointed, especially too, that you have invested so much of this money and it just doesn't feel quite right because it's not your truth yet. And so I think about the difference of the types of clients that we work with for, that come to us for digital media services. So, sometimes we'll have people that come to us and they haven't done that foundational work yet. They're not really clear about exactly what it is that they want to do. They're kind of figuring it out. And that's a beautiful place to be. But there's a lot of work that still needs to be done there in terms of getting clear. Like, who are your people? What are you here to do? Who are you serving? Like, what is your voice going to sound like? What are your brand colors? What does your branding look like? Do you have photos that you want to use? Like all these pieces, right? What is your big vision for your business and your life? And, like trying to build a website for somebody when they haven't figured all that stuff out it's really challenging for us, for one, because it's hard to know what you need. And it's frustrating for the person too, because they don't know what they need yet. So they don't know what to ask for. Now, many of the people, the badasses that go through our program, our 8-week program, we spend so much time, the first few weeks of this, especially getting really, really clear about your big vision, your why, the mission, your vibe, your tribe, all of that. So many of them become actually our digital media clients once they've completed our program. And like talking to somebody who's done that foundational work, it's so inspiring and exciting because the whatever we co-create from that place, you can just feel this person is like, okay, this is what I want. This is who I am. This is the copy. I got this. And the website goes up so fast at that point. It's so joyous. And the result is it's just like radiating truth and excitement and service because that person knew exactly. And then it just becomes this like beautiful extension of who they are. So it's a difference for us and it's a difference for our clients when they've really, really taken the time to do that foundational work first. Yeah.
And it's so funny. I know I've done this, and you guys can think if you've done this. Oh, sorry. I feel like I have to sneeze.
Look to the light.
Oh God. I have a cold, guys, and I'm trying to okay. I think I'm good. You know what it's like right there. Okay. So, what was I saying? Oh, so, like it's easy, I think, to also put yourself in this seat of oh, you're the expert. So just, you know what to do. So you do it best. So just surprise me. Or like that kind of mindset where you're just like, I trust you. And if it doesn't matter how amazing this person is at whatever they do, if they have no guidance, if there's no clarity, if there's no alignment with your vision, it's nearly impossible. Like for them to create something that you end up falling in love with is a mere coincidence. It's like going to a tattoo parlor and being like, surprise me. And they do this beautiful skull on your back, and skulls are the one thing that you hate, or like, right? It's like, and then it's there, it's permanent, which a website thankfully can be changed. But it's that thing in your head where you're just like, you're the expert. I trust you. I love dogs. And so, make me something that reflects my love for dogs. And you're like, but what do you do? So there's that whole thing. But there's also the flip side where people do come to us and they are crystal clear. They're like, I know what I do. I know why I do it. I know who I serve. This is my ideal client. Let me describe them to you. And we're like, okay, awesome. Let's do this. And as Kimi said, it's super fast and it's super easy for everybody. And the one thing that was really heartbreaking for us when we had that first website where we, spent a lot of money and we got it back, and we looked at each other and we're like, do we use this or should we just make our own? Like, what is this? Like the one thing that I think the biggest lesson for us that we didn't even see at the time was that, and I'll tell you guys for sure, like I know I did this in my head. I blamed them. I blamed them for making us a shitty website when we could have explained more clearly, or we maybe settled when they asked us, okay, well, is this what you're looking for? And we're like, I guess. And then inside we were like, hell no. And so, there is value to taking responsibility for not having the clarity that you need just yet. But when you have it. And even if it's not what you end up doing in 2 years or 5 years, right now it feels good. It feels aligned. It feels clear. That's all you need. To be able to describe that and to sink into it and to feel it and express that to someone who can help you to create the things that you want and need, that's priceless. And those are the clients that we end up really loving. And actually, we love all of our clients because we don't work with people who aren't clear yet. So that's a really beautiful thing too.
Yeah. Oh, what a beautiful, glorious experience that we had with our first website. We talk about it all the time, and there were so many lessons there. And I really do feel that it was such a reflection of where we were at the time, because we weren't clear. Like if you're not clear about who you are, then anything goes for that person that's creating something for you. And it was, as you said too, I really take responsibility for not speaking up enough too about what we really wanted. But it was so difficult to speak up for what we wanted because we didn't know, because we hadn't, really done that foundational work. So, yay that we had that, so that then it becomes a part of our business culture to prevent that from happening for anybody. We never want any of our clients to experience that. We want them to love whatever we create for them and have it feel like, again, like an extension of themselves, like something that they just are in love with, because it really is a reflection of you and your brand. And we want you to love your brand. Otherwise, why are you doing what you do? Right?
Yeah. We say we talk about it a lot, but we couldn't for a long time. We're like, F this guy. No, it was really painful. It was like talking about like a deceased family member. It was really hard, and it sucked because we were out a ton of money and we were basically like living in a home or like operating out of a store that we thought was like ugly and had bad vibes. And it just, that's really, Kimmy's just passed over this, and I want to come back to it. Your digital media is a reflection of your brand, and it's like a continuation of your store. And I know now, like, many people don't ever have or need brick and mortar businesses or storefronts, but if you think about your digital media in terms of your favorite place to hang out, like, you want it to be comfortable and cool and like in line with your vibe and your mission, and you want everybody that you envision serving to come here, and it's like your central perk. Like, you want to just go there all the time and hang out, and everyone thinks it's cool. That's how you want to feel, and that's so doable across all platforms: Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, websites. Like, it can all feel that way, but the only way that it can is not just, creating a template and changing the size and putting it in different places. Like, it has to come from the inner work. It has to come from the alignment that you feel with your business and with your clients. And so that's like when we talk to people who feel that, who know that deep down, and they light up when they talk about it, and you hear it in their voice and you see it in their face. That is the most fun thing that we do, is talking to people, business owners, aspiring entrepreneurs who have that light and that vision and that clarity that they know. And if you don't know, you don't know. And that's just it. And we didn't realize that. Mm-hmm. And I think over the last few years, you always hear us saying, like, we don't do anything that doesn't feel good or doesn't feel right. We go with what feels easy and aligned. And we weren't trained to do that at that time. So it didn't feel good. It didn't feel right. But we thought that that's, they're the experts. They gave us this. So maybe this is, from an external perspective, maybe is that what looks good? So again, like, train those muscles to really sink into your heart and into your gut, and know what you know when the time is right, and be okay not knowing. If you call us and you're like, hey, I love what you guys do, and someday I want you to build us a website, but I don't think I'm ready, we'll say, awesome, here's how we can help. And we'll help you to get that clarity, either through our course, or, we'll guide you one way and say, come back in a little bit when you've done some of this work, and it'll be awesome either way. But it is really kind of swallowing your pride a little bit and saying, like, okay, I don't think I'm ready, and it's okay.
Absolutely. I think also I've definitely done a lot of work around that experience, like trying to find the benefits, because as you said, it was really, really painful at the time. I think anytime you lose a bunch of money, you spend a bunch of money on something that you end up hating, it's like, it just feels like such a huge loss and disappointment. And so I've like made many, many lists of the ways that it benefited us. And, one of the things that I feel that it became really a huge part of our mission and our business culture to help empower people when it comes to technology, and to understand technology before you outsource. Not always, but at least have some type of understanding of what it is. And so that, and not to say that you have to get to any expert level, but having a base understanding and that feeling of empowerment when it comes to technology, so that you know what to ask for, so that you know what's going on, so that you don't feel like you're just turning everything over to somebody and having to blindly trust them, and then not liking what you get back, but not really having the words or the voice to understand why or what to do about it. And so I love that we've built a course and a program that teaches people how to understand things, at least at the base level, so that then they can outsource it and know what's happening. And I know that for myself, it was really disempowering at that time to have them build something that was all code. I had no idea. And there was a part of me that felt like, oh my God, like, I'm so in the dark here. I don't even know where things live, or who owns what, or what my passwords are, what my logins are, what's happening. And there was just no communication, and it was just a very disempowering experience, and one that I know that I didn't speak up enough about at the time. And again, yay, wonderful lesson. And I love it so much, because it's become then our mission to help people to not be afraid of tech and not be afraid of like, asking if they don't understand what's going on. It's okay. Like there was a part of me at that time that felt like I was supposed to understand everything that they were doing and building, but I didn't. And so I was just going to keep quiet and not ask why this wasn't this way or that. And so, yeah, I don't know. There's just an extra little, an extra little piece there that became a part of what we do now. And that is tech empowerment for people, which I think is so fun.
So cool. And, don't feel bad because they also spoke Polish.
That's true too. There was a language barrier, but like, I think about who we are now and how much we've grown. Like we ended up building our website after that. And then like from that moment, we learned everything that we could so that something like that never happened to us again. I mean, this was years ago. And that's really how so much of our digital media experience and growth came from. So it was really, really valuable. It sucked for sure, but it was really, really valuable. And so I guess we can thank them that because so much of our mission and what we do now is to help people to avoid that pain. So yeah, thanks guys for that weird ass website you built us.
I wish that I even had a screenshot. Maybe we have a screenshot of it somewhere. Guys, it was really crazy. God. I would love to dig that up. And I don't even remember what it looks like, but I remember our logo.
Oh, yes. Yes.
Maybe we'll post that. Maybe.
Yeah,
I am making no promises.
Yeah, it was really, really interesting. Really interesting experience. And then it was just, okay. Anyway, there's so much there.
I'll talk about it. It's
so much there.
So looking forward. Yeah. And that's, I mean, we've discussed this before on other episodes, but this is really what triggered the shift in our business recently was we would talk to people. We always did digital media like for the last, I don't know, couple of years, I guess, undercover. And then we decided to offer it as a service. And then once we did, so many of the calls that we did and people we would talk to would say, oh, I wish we had found you sooner. I just invested in a website. I don't really like it, but I spent all this money and I don't have any left. And we're like, oh, how can people find us when they first think that they need digital media? And so that we can kind of infiltrate this market of new entrepreneurs and start a revolution around what you actually need and what's the most important. And above all else, alignment and clarity is just over and over again, just screams like these two things will lead you to everything else and the road will be smoother. Like it's guaranteed. And, we didn't know that at first. And so again, helping people by turning our mess into our message is like something that we're all about. And we just want to let you know that like whatever you do, don't lose sight of that feeling inside and that vision and that dream, and know that you have support, you have resources. We're here to answer questions. If you listen to this and you're like, God, now I just don't know, like, am I ready? Am I not ready? I don't want them to be mad at me if I apply and I'm not ready. Like, no, that's what we're here for. And if you don't know, even more of a reason to reach out, because we'd love to just chat and just see like where you're at, because you might be ready for a website and you might not. And either way, it's perfect and it's fine and it's perfect. I said perfect twice, but it is because it's extra perfect. It's awesome.
Yeah. Yes. So true. And I think too, like, we, again, learning from what we experienced there, I wish that we had the course that we created to get the clarity that we help people to create back then, because it would have saved us so much time and energy and money. And I'm really proud of that service that we have for people. And we talk to people often that they, think, okay, I'm just going to kind of get things up and running. And then once I'm up and running, I'll come and talk to you guys. Like, it's on the list. or I feel like it's like, you feel like you're not ready yet for it. And I guess what we love to encourage people to do is just reach out and talk to us first and help us, knowing like how that we've been through this journey. Let us help you to see where you are at in the timeline and what you might need at which point. And, we love what we do. And again, hopefully you can tell from the way that we're speaking how much in integrity we are with when we say that we want to save you as much time and energy and stress as possible.
I feel like we should have led with that. Instead, we were like, yeah, you don't need it.
maybe. But yeah, so anyway, we love you guys, and just know that we are absolutely here for you. And that's why we do our breakthrough calls for both our digital media clients and for anybody applying to our program, because we want to really, really make sure that you're a right fit. And we, as Pua said, we will not work with anybody that is not. So let that be comforting, and know that there is support out here for you. And that if we can save you any ounce of struggle or pain that we have, experienced in our hilariously amazing, fun journey, then that's what we're here for.
Totally. And if you want to come hang out with us at our Essential Perk, we're actually on all the platforms under different names right now. But bledigital.com is where you can go to find out everything about all the things. And Broke Ass to Badass on Instagram is where you can find us there. We have some new stuff going on there, so check it out. Leave us a comment, send us a DM, let us know what you think. It's actually really funny, because if you look at our Instagram and you like scroll through, we've recently gone through like 3 or 4 different format changes, it's kind of cool. It's kind of fun. And you know that we're always experimenting so that we can share what we learn with you guys. So let us know what you think about the new direction that we're going there. And then on Facebook, of course, just search for us and you'll find us. Best Life Ever, BLE Digital, Broke Ass to Badass. We're all over the place. But
yeah, for sure. And if you do want to hop on a call with us, you can always go to bledigital.com/apply. And we can't wait to talk with you. We can't wait to hear about your beautiful business vision. And we'll talk soon. As always, we can continue the conversation in our tribe on Facebook. You can find that at bit.ly/BLE tribe.
And if you guys are ready to take action and level up your life and your business, jump on the phone with us and book a breakthrough call. You can find out all about our 8-week course and all of the ways that we support you and your business dreams at brokeasstobadass.com.